Hey, it's my birthday, so I'm doing a reading for you. The big 4-7 today. I'm so excited. And I had a productive day, which makes me so happy. I love it when I have productive days. How about you? All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to do the sacred geometry of relationships. We're going to see what kind of frequency we should be in. And you know what? Since this is the anniversary of my trip around the sun. Oh, we got 2 frequencies. I'm going to go ahead and say that these are my energies that I need to be working on for this year, this coming year for me. And you can take it for however long you want to. I don't care. So anyway, all right. The first one is forgiveness. You can see how excited I am for that. Let's go ahead and read that. The energy of forgiveness strengthens our capacity to let go of unwanted feelings and emotions. Yeah. But I like being bitter and resentful sometimes, especially when they're being a twat. I don't know about you. All right. And attraction. Let me show you the card. All right. The energy of attraction amplifies and quantifies or amplifies the quantities that attract and support us on our journey toward inner balance and harmony. I'm sorry, qualities. I can't read these. Yo, I'm 47 years old, and I need to go to the eye doctor apparently because I can't read anything anymore. But that, to be fair, that's been the last 12 years. I turned 35 and I stopped being able to really see small print. So, all right, so let's go ahead and we're going to use the Blossoms of Serenity Tarot to clarify forgiveness. And we are going to use the Van Gogh deck, which is a Starry Night, which is this one. Isn't it pretty? I love this deck. Oh, Justice on the bottom. Good thing. All right. But we're going to use that to clarify attraction. So we're going to start off with the Blossoms of Serenity and clarify forgiveness first. And honestly, this kind of sounds like a pile 1, pile 2 type of a thing. So I will go ahead and hold up each card at the beginning of the clarification for that individual reading. So if you are not feeling called to forgiveness, you can just, use your little zoomy thing and go to attraction when I hold that up. And then you'll get that one individual reading. If you feel called to both, this is a message, that is in both of these readings for you. So anyway, I'm told to look at the split. 9 of Swords and the 10 of Wands in reverse. All right. So that is telling me that there is much ado about nothing. Okay. And channeling right now, you've gone through a major transformation. You're coming out the other side. It may have felt like a dark night of the soul. It could very well have been. But there is some residual anxiety, some sleepless nights, some worrying and fretting that's going on that's really not serving you just because there's no need for it. Things are getting better. You're protected. You're going to be just fine, baby. Okay, so let's go ahead. Spirit, can you clarify and give us a message or some advice on forgiveness? So here is the card. So this is pile 1. Okay. Give us some messages about forgiveness, please. Give us messages about forgiveness. Seeing this one and this one. I'm hearing 2 more. Give us some messages about forgiveness, please. This one and this one. All right. Okay. All right. Our first card we have It's the Nine of Swords in reverse. Quit worrying. This was on the upright before, remember? So quit worrying is your first message. We've got the King of Cups. You've done a lot of maturing. You've opened up your heart space. You've become emotionally mature and are beginning to open up that heart space because you've done a really good job about, turning within and starting to learn to love yourself. But now it's time to, open up and project it to other people. We've got the Six of Wands in reverse. We've got, you know what? I am going to make a determination. Let me lay these out in the reverse, but I need to decide whether I'm going to actually read them in reverse or not. Sometimes I read them in the reverse, sometimes I don't. Just depends on called. Eight of Swords in the reverse. Queen of Coins in the reverse. Oh, I see why they're coming out in the reverse. Okay, I'm getting a message right now. The Hermit in the reverse. Isn't that a pretty Hermit card? I don't know if you can see him. It's all swirly. All right. And the Ten of Cups in the reverse. Okay. All right, I'm hearing that the lack of the energy I'm feeling right now is actually an energy of someone who's been single and on their own. And remember, these are general readings, so if you're finding yourself arguing with them, if it's not, don't pretzel yourself to try and get the story to fit. But the energies predominantly that I'm hearing right now are coming from a person who has been alone for quite some time, working on learning to be happy single, learning how to love yourself, how to put yourself first, because boundaries seem to have been a major problem for you in the past. You used to get really, really wrapped up in your head, but you have actually started to teach yourself how to get out of that, which is fantastic. That actually is, the Eight of Swords for me is kind of a mini devil card. The devil is more about codependency than anything else. And the Eight of Swords could be the limerence card. If you don't know what limerence is, look it up. I'm not going to explain it here, but just imagine maladaptive daydreaming where you objectify a person and what you daydream your relationship could be like rather than living in reality and getting to know them. Okay. You have been... You're on the road, but you're really struggling to, like, I've got the Queen of Coins. She is like the grand hostess. She is the one who knows how to throw a party and to make sure everybody's, happy and content and has everything they need during the event. This is in the reverse. So you're really still at a point where you're struggling to let people almost into your space. It's like you'll go to them, but you don't want them to come into your area. And so that's something that is really preventing you from finding some happiness. I would say that what probably needs to happen is some cleansing, both spiritually, so like taking cleansing baths, making sure that your home is put together, not like mine. Mine is bad right now. But it's getting better. And it is showing that you are taking step-by-step action to right this energy. I would recommend a frequency I would say binaural beats for focus would probably be very helpful for you. And then also making sure that you are meditating in a specific way. What way do they need to meditate? Meditate in a way that's training your brain to focus for progressively longer periods of time. So if you struggle, like I have ADHD, um, and like I said, these are my readings too. I always say that. I always get messages out of that. And what I have been doing is I've not been as good about doing this lately. But the universe has, forced me into it through my job. I have to be able to focus and I have to be able to turn my attention outward and pay attention to the people in front of me rather than, having it be a completely internal process where my mind wanders. That is something that I have struggled with because my brain never shuts off. And so, in meditation, allowing myself to see a thought and then let it pass on as if it were a cloud in the sky is one of the visuals that I do. I actually have a friend who has trouble visualizing, and I need to do more research on how to help people like that. They're pretty rare, but they do occur in nature. But what I would say is that step-by-step process is actually the changes that you're making on a day-by-day, step-by-step process are really going to pay off in dividends if you continue with consistency, doing that meditation that helps you with your focus. And that brings me to the forgiveness card, where a large part of where the forgiveness needs to be had is for the self. You know, you may have been in a relationship where once the relationship ended, all you did was nitpick at yourself for quite a period of time after the breakup, to where you were kind of beating yourself up about all of your flaws. Baby, you're human and you are perfect exactly how you are. You're perfectly imperfect. And you are right where you need to be. That person just wasn't for you. So if it's mirroring what you need to work on, don't use that as justification to beat yourself up. Slowly make the changes, and it looks like you're finally unraveling and coming out of that. You're actually learning from the reflection instead of yelling at the reflection. That's kind of the visual I'm getting from that. Once you are able to turn this Queen of Coins energy that's in the reverse into the upright, which is basically being of service to others, being a great hostess, being able to hold space for people, not just because you seem to have really gotten the knack for holding space for yourself in certain regards, and then in other regards you haven't been, and that is going to be learned through community. And so getting into the community, becoming a person who is a person of service for that community will really, really help you. And then being able to ask for help. You do not have to be a one-man band. You do not have to do the whole thing on your own. But once this gets in the upright, then the rest of this spread, aside from the Nine of Wands, that anxiety doesn't need to go in the upright. We need to not worry. But as far as, and neither does the Eight of Swords, but once that Queen of Coins gets in the upright, as an archetype and an energy, then you're going to start getting, seeing more success, turning that Six of Wands into an upright with victory. You're going to see that Hermit turn upright, and you're not going to be so isolated and feel so lonely. You're going to see that Ten of Cups turn upright, and you're going to find happiness and fulfillment. So that's kind of your next step moving forward, is to look at how can I be of service to others and service to myself, not just to hold space for myself. Now it's the taking action part of it. What can I do? What little action can I do, that micro habit that I can do today that will make a big impact if I do it consistently every day? Do that for a week, then add another micro habit. Do that for a week with both of them, then add another. Don't try and change your whole life all at once. That is a surefire way to self-sabotage, okay? So micro habits. I mean, shoot, if you can start, like, depending on where you're at. I remember there was a time where I was so depressed that I was showering maybe once a week and not remembering to brush my teeth. Depression's a bitch. That's where I was at the time. And so my micro habits at that time was just to remember to brush my teeth every day and to take a shower every day. Once I got in those habits, then I was able to move on. Now I can do more advanced micro habits. And you may be in a space where it's like, okay, I want to make sure that when I go to bed, before I go to bed, I've got my dishes done or all of my laundry folded and put it away. Take one thing and do it. Do it consistently for a week to integrate it, and then add another thing. That's the whole thing about transmutation. Small steps, small micro habits, and then integrating them for a period of time before doing another thing. Rome was not built in a day, baby. Okay? That is on forgiveness. Forgiveness of self is going to be really important. Obviously, if you need to take accountability, and ask for forgiveness, that may be applicable, but I'm not really getting a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of keeping your side of the street clean as far as that's concerned. But forgiving others for infractions they have done to you may be something that you're struggling with, especially with this King of Cups here in the upright. That is going to be something that you may find difficulty with, is being able to forgive them when you know you're never going to get an apology. If that is the case, one of the tactics that I teach my sponsees, and I'm not a replacement for your sponsor, remember that. One of the things I teach my sponsees is actually two things. One of them is a God box. I'm going to be doing a video on how to make a God box, but just to give you a little rundown, you make a little, like in second grade when we make Valentine's boxes where we would decorate them and then people would put candy in it. Same concept, except this is a box that you're going to decorate, and then all of your worries and troubles, that you write them down on a piece of paper and put them in the God box. And that physicality is experiential therapy. It's been tested scientifically. It works really well for depression and anxiety. And then the fun thing is, at the end of the year, you can open up the box and see all of the things that God took care of you, for you. So that's actually a trust building exercise with the divine as well. If you are atheist and you're like, hey, my higher power is a disco ball because it's higher than me. Like one of my friends, they, although they've developed a more complicated relationship with a different higher power, but that's where they were in the beginning. That's okay. That's okay. Just assume that everything that goes in the God box were things that it's to get it out of your mind, put it in the box so that you don't have to worry about it anymore. Because once it's in the box, getting it out of paper will help you forget about it. And then, and if you need to write it down every day and put it in the box every day, just let it go every day. That is, you will see what little you needed to actually work on. And that, the serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. The stuff we're putting in the box is the change, that we cannot contribute to, and we need to accept. That box will bring you serenity. So that's number one. And the people that you need to forgive and have resentments towards, those resentments can go in that box, okay? Over and over again if need be. Then the second thing is to write a letter. Start the letter off with how they hurt you, what you learned from the pain, how you have implemented changes in your life to make sure that pain never happens again. You can tell them off. You can make it whatever. I don't care what that letter looks like. And then you're going to read it out loud. You can do it with another person. I personally find it very, very therapeutic to do it with another human being, but you can just read it out loud in front of a campfire. And then you're going to burn that letter and send it off to the ether. That is another way to give forgiveness. You want to add in there, obviously, hey, I forgive you because I'm not holding on to this shit anymore. That is a way of forgiving a person that you will never get an apology for, that may not be a person you want to reintroduce physically into your life. I know many of us have had people like that. So, and there's nothing wrong with doing that letter. Now, that does not mean that you should use that as an excuse to justify not taking accountability with people that you should be doing face-to-face. This is reserved for people who have been deliberately abusive to you. Or if it's something where you've got, like an avoidant that you don't want to get sucked back in to have the same process happen again. And you worry about, re-linking with them. So no harm shall be done in the amends process, either to someone else or to yourself. But do be brave and do the physical amends in person to people who you can. Okay. All right. So there is forgiveness. So we're going to go ahead and move on to pile number 2, which is attraction. And I'm going to be using my Van Gogh Tarot. So if this is where you leave me for pile 1, know that I love you. And thank you for joining me today. If you're here for pile number 2, attraction, let's go ahead and talk about this beast. All right. Attraction is one of those things that we talk a lot about, but understand very little of. So let's go ahead and get some advice from Spirit on how to amplify the qualities that attract and support us on our journey toward inner balance and harmony. Okay. When you are in alignment, you are naturally attracting things that are meant for you, and you no longer have to chase. That's why we tell people don't chase, attract it. So the song from Adele, Never Mind, I'll Find Someone Like You, is playing in my head right now. So if that's something where, somebody rejected you that you really fancied, you don't want to be doing, first and foremost, you don't ever want to do any kind of magic spells that may, take away someone else's free will. That's why love magic is a no-no, especially because it's one of those things where, most people who do love magic, they want to attract, or they want to put a spell on a particular person, and that is not cool. It's not ethical. Knock it off. But you can take the qualities of that person that you really liked and put them on a list. So that's the thing. And then become that list. That's the big thing. We attract what we are. I know I've said this many times before. We attract what we are. So we attract what we are, not what we want. Okay, so if you see something you want, you need to become it in order to attract it. Because if you want it, that will be a lack mindset and you will constantly be chasing. Okay, so Spirit, can I get some messages and advice on how we can get into the frequency of attraction and alignment with your will on earth? Because at the end of the day, that's where we all want to be. Trust me. You may think, oh, that's stupid. Why would I want to be in alignment with God's will in my life? Trust me. It is the bomb once you get here. All right. I have the King of Pentacles, baby. I'm hearing one more. There, that one right there. Okay. So we have the Queen of Pentacles in the other pile. So I'm interested to see what happens when this all comes out. Okay, so we've got the Four of Pentacles. And I'm hearing that's not, sometimes I call that my hoarding card. We're going to see how the rest of the cards play out, but that's actually what I heard. Instead of, it's not the shadow aspect of that card. It's not, hoarding money or things. It's more about being smart with your money. Okay. Knight of Pentacles. Wow, we got a lot of pentacles here. All right. King of Pentacles. The Lovers. Ooh. Ooh. The Two of Wands. And the Eight of Cups. I'm going to pull one more card on the Eight of Cups to clarify. Spirit, clarify the Eight of Cups. What should we be walking away from? Six of Pentacles. Oh my Lord Almighty. Okay, well. Six of Pentacles. All right. And that's clarifying the Eight of Cups. Okay. So, to go along with the message from pile one, as far as the energy that I'm getting is of a person who has been working on themselves. They've been single for a while. It looks like you have got love coming in. You've been working on yourself in becoming what you are wanting to attract, which is fantastic. There is a little bit more work on the heart space, I'm hearing, that needs to happen. And you might want to kind of make a plan and write that list of qualities down because I'm hearing that your list of qualities about an ideal partner may have changed, okay? Since the last time you did it, if you have ever done it before. What I am also seeing is that because you are in this frequency, you are very attracted to someone who you had a relationship with in the past. However, this relationship was not emotionally reciprocal. It was transactional. There is a difference between reciprocal relationships and transactional relationships, okay? This is recommending that if someone from your past comes in, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Leave that boy or girl in the past. And we don't need to know why. We need to just accept that that is not the person for us. We learned lessons from them. We've integrated them. We've transmuted them. We've moved on. So that's like clear as day. So if you have someone texting you from your past, and you're in my collective, the recommendation is to not go back to them, no matter how tempting it is. And you will be tempted. Trust me. Anytime you level up, you're going to be tempted by past crap. And I know it sucks, but it is giving you an opportunity to make sure that you are choosing this new lifestyle. Okay. So don't take it personally. And you're not being tested, you're given the opportunity to say, are you sure you want to make these changes? Yes, I am. Okay, then. And then those tests drop off. So, or those past choices drop off. Okay. And then you start attracting more and more of who you are currently at the moment. And I don't know about you, but I'm a bajillion mare. So, Four of Pentacles, we need to be smarter about our money. That is something that is being heavily highlighted in this reading. So once you are able to, I actually just watched a video on this the other day. Oftentimes when we are praying for money because we need this and we would be so altruistic with it and the divine doesn't bless us with that money that we just know we need. Why? Because God will gift you what you ask for once. And if you cannot handle the responsibility, the divine is not going to let you manifest more until you are able to handle that, okay? And so you've recently leveled up in a financial way. And there is more where that came from. But right now, your job with this Knight of Pentacles is to take it one day at a time and work to build up and integrate the responsibilities that come with the more that you just received, so that even more can come in, okay? It's just like making those changes that I said in the first reading. If you haven't watched it, you might want to go back. There might be a message there for you. But this is, slow and steady progress, okay? Just take your time, be gentle with yourself, and accept that there may be a learning curve. The divine knows that. If you're not used to handling something, they're going to be gracious about it. But make sure that you maybe add into your prayers, please help me be able to take responsibility so that I can maintain what I have just received, okay? Because blessings will not last forever if you do not take care of them. And you will not get more, So then we've got the King of Pentacles. If you do this, if you take this action and you start being responsible, this is where you're going to get extraordinarily mature in handling your money. Okay. This sounds like a financial reading if I've ever heard one. So this is what you're currently attracting. Because you're starting to take notice, and there is a little bit more that you could be doing as far as taking responsibility on the financial end of things, like budgeting and paying off debts and stuff like that. Trust that investing in yourself and being responsible with what you've gotten right now will end up with this over time, okay? That is fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So this is the new love that's coming in, okay? This is going to be someone equally yoked to you. This may be a divine partner. I'm going to get clarification on that. I'm going to use my Blossoms of Serenity deck, just in case duplicate of one of the other cards comes out. Clarify the lovers for me, please. Clarify the lovers for me. The Nine of Wands. Okay. There may be a little bit of anxiety knowing that this is coming in, and that's okay. That's okay. That shows that you care. But know that you're being prepared. Okay. There's really nothing to be anxious about. In fact, the anxiety is actually what's blocking it. Okay. Clarify the lovers, please. That anxiety is a lack mentality and will perpetuate lack mentality. Knight of Wands. Okay. Clarify the lovers, please. And the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. This is going to come in relatively fast. I'm not seeing Eight of Wands here, but I am definitely getting Eight of Wands energy from it. And I think that the anxiety is that you're worried that it's going to be someone from your past, where it's just going to be one more MFer who comes in and is bored and lonely and wants entertainment. That I'm being told that is not the case. This is going to be someone who you're going to attract a lot of attention your way, and you may get offers from those people, but you have gotten to the point where you've walked this path long enough. You can discern who is there for you and who is not. Take your time getting to know people. That is how the discernment is brought to you. So don't just get all excited and jump into bed with someone right away, because you never know who they are until you start developing that relationship with them. And sex does not equate a relationship. And this actually is a really good segue. I actually have talked a couple of times today, and I don't know why it keeps being brought up, is demonic attachments. Let's just get it out there. Demonic attachment. Sex is the number one way to get a demonic attachment, okay? They're called sexually transmitted demons for a reason, all right? Now, this is why we do not act like a hoe. And I get the whole sexual revolution thing, and by God, you have free will. You can do what you want with your body. Just know that on top of diseases, you can get negative attachments through sex. Anytime you're sleeping with someone who, maybe a playboy or playgirl, they're carrying a sexual energy from other people too. And you never know what you're going to get. And sometimes that can actually lead to a pretty bad attachment on your end. So make sure that you're holding off jumping into the sack. Make sure that you're getting tested, first of all, because we don't want to spread diseases today. There's enough out there, and I don't know about you, but I don't care to get anything that I can't ever get rid of. And I don't care to take medication to keep it in suppression for the rest of my life. So I appreciate it when someone says, hey, I would like to get intimate with you. Let's go to the clinic. Okay. So if you encounter someone who is down for that, and I know that can feel awkward, and you have to get vulnerable about yourself like that, it will pay off, because if a person's willing to do that, they more than likely don't have a demonic attachment on top of a disease, okay? And if they did have a disease, at least you could catch it before you caught it. Does that make sense? So, or maybe you have something from your past and you don't want to pass it on to somebody else. So just testing has been made abundantly clear to me today. Like, I've talked about it with 3 different people today. So I think that that's kind of the collective message. Quit passing your germs around, and quit passing your demons around. Nobody wants that crap. Work on yourself, get clean, get healthy, and get spiritually sound. And then get into a healthy relationship. That's kind of where I may be old-fashioned about that, but that's who I am. The dating market right now sucks, and it needs to change drastically. So I refuse to participate in it. I've been single for several years now. I just got divorced. So legally I was married, but I separated from him 4 years ago, and I haven't really had a serious relationship in over 3. However, this is something where you've got someone who seems like a divine counterpart that's going to be coming in. And of course it's your choice. If you're not ready, don't nothing that is meant for you will pass you by. Okay. And if you want to take your time, the person who is meant to be there with you will allow you and respect you enough to let you take your time. So take your time. And I'm hearing, don't play stupid games with them to try and test them. Just getting to know them is test enough. They will eventually show their true colors. You don't need to be playing manipulative games, no matter who's telling you you should. But this is definitely fated. This is a fated connection, and the reason why it's coming in now is because you've done the work. You're attracting it. You're attracting it into your life. So, hey, you're attracting love and money. I like the sound of that. Keep doing the good work, I'm hearing. I'm hearing that there's one more message that doesn't have anything to do with these cards. And it's for anyone who has joined either reading. So I guess I maybe should have done this in the beginning, but if you're still here and you've watched both piles, this is for you. If you only watched one of the piles, this is for you. You have a grandmother spirit that's coming through, and she just wants to express how deeply she is impressed with all the work that you've done. She's so proud of you. She would really like it if you found a recipe of hers, if you have one. If you don't have one, maybe go on YouTube and find, I'm hearing specifically Depression era recipes, like milk pie. I've never heard of milk pie. Tell me in the comments if you've heard of it and you recommend it, because I'll find it and make it myself. Dandelion salad, something like that. She says that that's a way that she can connect with you on a spiritual level to make a food that she would have made. And so looking at like if a certain grandparent or great grandparent comes to mind, know that that's the one. Figure out like some recipes from that era, make it and eat it. And that will actually be a way of communing with her and to receive communication for the communication from her. That's very interesting. I've never gotten messages like that before. Know that you are a gem. Sorry, not a gem. The gem of the family. And all of those years of being a black sheep are paying off, because you have become a unique, talented, brutally authentic person. And that goes so far in today's society where people are keeping up with the Joneses and wanting to be like everybody else. You have decided to stay and stick to your guns and develop yourself as a unique individual. And that is commendable, she's saying. If you see a Luna moth, see the word Luna, see the moon, but specifically a Luna moth, that's a message from her, that she's with you. She says she's always guiding. She's always guiding. You just need to know the messages that she's giving and learn how. And now my guides are telling me that is the segue to me talking. I actually hosted a conscious contact class last September. It was highly, highly popular. I am going to be doing another round of that. I am going to be offering that class once I get the courses up. I think I'm going to do a live Zoom class and record it. And then offer the course, like you can do it as at your leisure, because I'm going to have it on a platform. I haven't figured out which one yet, but that's going to be coming soon. So if you want to join the live class, I'll put my email in the description box, and you can email me, and I can give you the pricing of the class. It is extraordinarily affordable because I feel personally that the more people I can teach to get into conscious contact with their higher power, the better off this planet will be. But I do need to put a roof over my head and pay my bills. So, that is something that I'm very passionate about, making sure that it's affordable for my students. Also, we've got 2 more spots at our retreat in St. Simons. I will also leave the link to that if you want to join us. We are going to be on an adventure with fellow women who are, doing their best and working toward getting into spiritual alignment so that they can take their purpose and make it, take their passion and purpose on this planet and turn that into how they fund their lives, so that they are truly living their purpose and able to, support themselves in the process. Any other messages? I'm also seeing some seeds that I have on my table. Know that the seeds that you have planted will bear fruit soon. And the seeds that you have not planted yet, what are you waiting for? The longer you wait to plant those seeds, the farther out the harvest will be. If you plant seeds right now, you are primed and ready to manifest what you want. Those seeds will take root. They will bear fruit. Good fruit. All right. That's it. Okay, guys. If no one's told you today, know that I love you and happy birthday to me.